Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. I thought I had a fun, cool video for you guys today, and it's not turning out to be that way. I got a new attachment. It's a scarifier bar. It's 72 inches wide, and I'm going to show you in a minute. And we have it hooked to the M4, which is a little bit big. That particular attachment is meant for, I think, about a 50 horse, more of a compact size tractor, so I'd have to take it easy. But we have it hooked to the M4 here, and we have an issue. So let's take a look at that. So this is our new scarifier bar. As you can see right now, it was shipped with the scarifiers upside down. Very similar to what's on a box blade. There's the ones that are on the box blade. They're a little smaller. These are a little bit bigger, a little thicker. But they're adjustable. You can see here the different holes. So basically when you go to use it, you just take them, flip them over and reset the pin. That's not an issue. The cool thing about this is it's designed to have attachments hooked to the back of it. You can see right here and up top there. It's kind of like a 3-point hitch setup. So the idea is that if you want to break up some ground and kind of level it at the same time, you can hook your landscape rake to the back of this thing and accomplish that. For me, that was one of the things I was going to do. The other thing is, in my ground, there's a lot of rock. So a lot of times, like if you chisel plow, things like that, which is kind of similar to what this is, it'll bring those rocks to the surface on you. So in doing that, having this hooked to the rake, I will bring those rocks to the surface and then immediately be able to sort of rake them away. And I will have the rake set using the gauge wheels so that it's not pulling a bunch of dirt with it. So that was going to be today's great video, showing you this cool new attachment. This actually, I ended up getting it from Northern Tool. Not sponsored by them, had to pay full price for the thing. Well, actually I didn't. We'll get to that in a second. However, I had looked at one from Everything Attachments online. Theirs was a little bit cheaper, almost looked like the same thing, but it was back ordered. So anyway, so now on to the issue as to why we can't do this great video today. So there's one of these grooves on each side, which is meant to hook into your pins here. So you can kind of see the setup here. This is pretty close where it will latch in there. So if you keep that where it needs to be and you come to this side, you can make sure we got you in the picture here. You can now see the problem. These two things that are welded and mounted to this scarifier bar are too close together. I even tried, as you can see here, I tried to flip my attachment pin over to the inside to see if I could hook it up that way. But what keeps happening is that this frame of the rake is hitting right here. So there's no possible way that I can hook this rake or any 3-point implement to the back of the scarifier bar without modifying it. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. It was a great disappointment. The scarifier bar was not cheap. With shipping and everything, it was close to 900 bucks. So I was a little disappointed when I tried to hook this up and do a video for you guys. So previously I said that I hadn't quite paid full price for it, and they have no idea that I'm on YouTube or anything like that. But basically what I did was I called and I explained the situation and said just what I told you guys, that this will not hook up, and it's supposed to. It's supposed to be able to be other 3-point implements category 1 hooked to it, and this is a category 1 implement. So what they did was they gave me 20% off. It ended up being about $170 that they're going to refund me for this, because I said that if they would give me a credit, I would modify it myself. The other option was they were willing to take it back, and either send me another one because maybe those got welded in the wrong spot, or just do a return in general. I didn't want to do an exchange because anybody who's ordered, I don't want to say anything this year, but I would say probably 80% of the things that I have ordered this year, because of everything going on in the world, it's taking, instead of like 5 to 7 days to get something, it's like 3 weeks. And I don't have 3 weeks time to wait. I wanted to use this already. So exchange was not an option. I want the thing. I don't want to return it permanently. So that really wasn't an option. So when they offered me the 20% off, I took it. And what I'm going to have to do is come up with a way to modify this. We'll have to kind of see what we come up with. You know, I'm thinking about maybe grinding this off, cutting this, moving it over, and I have some big 1/2-inch plate. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. That's going to be a separate video, doing some fabrication on this. So the rest of this video here today is going to be one of two things. I don't know yet. I'm going to see if I can still find a way to finagle this to make it work with some bolts or something. We'll see. So you might get to see footage of both of these things running together. If not, I am still going to use this by itself, so we'll get footage of that. So stay tuned, because the next clip will tell you what has happened. All right, well, I made an attempt to get this hooked up. I ended up taking off the pins that were on here, and I put bolts in instead. So this side is on the inside of the frame of the scarifier, and this side is actually on the outside, and you can see I had the shim. They have this sort of locking tab. I have no idea if this is even going to work. It was just supposed to be a temporary fix for today to get my job done until I could basically remanufacture that, refabricate it. So let's take it over the field and see if this is going to work or not. All right, this is day 2 of this disastrous new attachment here. Sorry about the wind noise. It is very windy here today. This setup did not work out. When the shanks drop in the ground, it was pushing the rake too far into the ground. And I have the gauge wheels on the back set all the way down. You can see these use shims, and they're all the way down. But the problem is that the rake needs to be tipped back a little bit to ride on those wheels. And what they provide for a top link up here is very adjustable. So this second implement has the ability to float a bit, which would be good depending on what's on here. But having the rake on here and trying to keep that tilted backwards was a disaster. I went 10 feet with it. It dug right in the rake dug right in the ground. It just started grabbing everything. Yeah, it was a complete mess. So I had put these bolts on here to sort of temporarily, you know, I tightened all this down here. I know it's upside down, to hook it on, and I got to take all that apart. Basically what we're going to do is just rip separately from the rake at this point until I can modify this. Now I found another issue with this brand new implement that I got. If you remember from a previous clip, all these scarifier shanks were flipped upside down, just in a shipping position. So I had to take the pins out here and set them. I have them set so they'll go as deep as they'll go. But there's supposed to be 7 on here, and if you come around, you can see, make sure you can see, there's a pin here. So the middle scarifier actually fits up into this tube here. Problem is it's missing. It was never put in there from the factory. Completely gone. So I called Northern Tool this morning about getting a replacement one. They said it's going to be 3 to 4 months before I can get one, because it would come from overseas. They have offered to swap this unit with another brand new one. So I may do that, but they kind of want to pick this one up first and then deliver the new one second, which the way shipping has been going, that will leave me without a ripper for at least 2 weeks, because that's just how it's been this year. So I think what I'm going to try and do is measure one of these scarifiers with the tip, see if I can find one online. Northern Tool doesn't even offer the parts online. See if I can find something online, a replacement one, and order it, and then just see if I can get them to take the cost of that off the cost of this one, refund me a little bit more money. It's going to cost them a lot of money to ship this one back and ship me a new one. Probably a few $100s, I would guess, is what the freight's going to be, because it came, you know, in that big crate over there on a truck. So if one of those, say, costs 50 bucks, it's going to save them $150 easy, just to credit me the 50 rather than have to swap them out. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, I'm going to unhook this. I won't bother showing that. I got to undo the bolts. But the next clips you're going to see, we're going to drop this baby in the ground and put it to work. Well, things just keep getting better and better. So first of all, I stole a tooth off my box blade. It's not quite the same, but it was pretty close. So I thought that would work. I am only going in very low gear, two-wheel drive, about 0.6 of a mile an hour, and I've already managed to damage this thing pretty good. In this ground, it's supposed to be a ripper. Let's see here, so you can see there is the tip of that tooth. That's supposed to be going out that way, and it is also bent sideways. And then we come over here to this one, and you can see how bent that guy is, and how the tooth, this one's not bent quite as bad, but that tooth is bent down. Boy, I would not recommend buying one of these at all. I'm going to take it over the garage, see if I can straighten some of these out. I'm going to move them up a hole so that it's not running so deep, which is disappointing because I was trying to get this ground ripped down a little bit. Yeah, so let me see if I can straighten these out, and we'll get back to it. At some point I hope to get you some footage of the thing in action. All right, here we are back out in the field. You can see all the rocks that are here, which is the reason I was trying to hook the rake up. Was the idea behind this piece of equipment was not only to loosen up the ground a little bit, but to take those rocks with you as you went, so you were making one pass instead of two. So it is working. I've made some passes here. One thing that I'd like to point out to you guys, if you can manage to see across there, is that the shank in the very center has not been damaged whatsoever. It is set. I picked these up a notch, and I left that one down because if you remember, that was the one from my box blade. So they technically are all about the same depth now. This one's really bent, but that one's not damaged. I'm thinking that that box blade was actually manufactured here in Pennsylvania, and I'm thinking that's a higher quality steel that they use on those shanks. The other thing is that the tooth on this shank, if I can manage to show you here, I don't know if you can see, there's two dimples here, and well, this tooth's ready to fall off. There's only one dimple on each of these where the tooth is hooked on. So I think this is just a higher quality shank, and I'm thinking about, I'm getting a price on them. I'm thinking about swapping all of them to this size, and then of course they'd all be the same. But two of these are bent up pretty good here. I mean, to be able to take them over and straighten them out with a sledgehammer, that doesn't say much about the quality of the material. You know, this thing is supposed to be a root rake and a ripper, and you know, I know this is stony ground, but it's letting me down here. I'm very disappointed. So I do want to address a couple things here real quick. I know this video has a lot of talking, but I'm trying to give you as much information as I can. I really would not recommend buying one of these. Now, one thing I know you're going to say is you have it on a tractor that's too big. Yes, this is designed for a smaller tractor. However, I'm going very slow. This tractor is in two-wheel drive. It is not in four-wheel drive. So I'm not using the full weight of the tractor to pull. And the other big thing that you guys need to know is that this ground was chisel plowed already. So it has been worked over with my big international chisel plow. I did not take a video of it. because I was fighting some rain at the time. But the only reason I was running this back in here now is because I don't know if you can see some of the tire tracks. I spread lime and fertilizer in the field and kind of packed it all back down. So rather than running the chisel again, my thought was, oh, well, I'll just run this new attachment with the rake and clean everything in one pass and be ready to plant in here. And that, of course, has completely backfired. So again, the ground has been chiseled, it has been worked. This is not virgin ground. This thing should not be having this many issues, even on a tractor this size. Again, I'm going 0.6 of a mile an hour with it, real slow. You know, I would expect maybe some damage like this if this was virgin ground with roots and stumps and everything all over the place. Possibly, yes, but it is supposed to be designed for that, and it is absolutely letting me down. So I have been able to make a couple passes here, so we're going to keep going with it. I'll try and get you some footage of it working, and we'll see if we bend or break anything else here. All right, we got the field done. I don't know if there's any more damage. Some of them look like they're, yeah, this guy here got bent down again. But once again, if you look at that center tooth there, that center shank, there is no damage to it whatsoever. I know it may be a tiny bit protected in the center, but I still think it's a quality issue here. This steel here, I think, is just very, very soft, and it just bends easy. So we bent this tooth back down. I had straightened that guy out, but once again, this guy's perfect. Nothing wrong with that one. So and again, it's very hard for me to show you, but the bottom of these two are just about perfectly even. I know from the front they look different, but that's because all these teeth are bent down and flopped all over the place. This tooth here, it's not even floppy. It's just the play right here. This tooth is solid. Every single one of these are all bent and floppy. So I think the tool has potential. I think I'm going to talk to Northern Tool. You can see here's you know, it's a Nortrac tool. I'm going to talk to them, and they'd already discounted it because of the other issue I had. I don't expect them to pay for every single one of those, but if they'll reimburse me for at least the one that was missing, I think I will keep this. I'm going to put the scarifiers on here that are on the box blade, and then I already have an idea how I want to modify the rest of it to be able to hook other attachments onto it. So I think it has a lot of potential. But it's going to need a little bit of work, and if I can get a little bit of a discount, like I said, on that one tooth, and no, it's not bent, it's just sitting sloppy in the holes there. If I swap all those out, I think we can make a good tool out of it. Stay tuned, because the next clip will be me giving you just my final thoughts, and I'm going to call Northern again and see what they'll do on that one shank. I have to get a price on a new one first. So stay tuned to the end of the video, guys, because I'll have a final update for you. All right, guys, so it's been, I don't know, a week or two since the previous clip that you saw this video. And I just want to give you a couple updates here. So the first one is I went back and looked at the description of the product, and it actually calls for the tractor size. Four-wheel drive is a 45 horse. Two-wheel drive tractor is a 60 PTO horsepower tractor. So that M4 in two-wheel drive, that's a 70 engine horse. It's actually I don't know what it is, the PTO, but they're usually 10 or 15 horse less at the PTO than at the engine. So in two-wheel drive, that tractor is actually appropriately sized for the ripper attachment, according to Northern Tool's website. So I just wanted to throw that in there to let you guys know. I know it seemed like kind of a big tractor for such a small attachment, but it says right on there 60 PTO horse and two-wheel drive. So I mean, we were kind of at the upper limits of that, but we didn't surpass it. So now I'm going to show you the new shanks that I bought. I know it's kind of a long video, but my goal is to provide you guys with as much information as possible. So here are the new Scarifier shanks. I actually got these on Amazon. They are heat treated, the shank and the tip itself. So let's take one of these out and we'll compare it. Don't mind the big mess everywhere. We're in the middle of Halloween season here and whatnot, but I have the tool sitting over here. So it still has the original Scarifiers on it. The one from my box blade still in the middle. You can see that one's undamaged. But so yeah, here's the new one that I got. It's actually a little bit bigger than the one that's on the box blade. It's a little taller. So I'm going to just take that one off and go put it back on the box blade. And I have all new 7 new ones to put on here. Like I said, I don't think these are heat treated at all. These are heat treated. The shank and the point are heat treated. As well as, if you remember in the video, you can see this one has the double dimples where it's crimped on there, just like this guy did. And these don't. So these are just a higher quality shank. So those are going to be my replacement shanks. They were 40 some dollars a piece, and I did contact Northern Tool and let them know that there was one missing. I thought, you know, all the other ones when it shipped were upside down on the unit, and I thought that one was just kind of shoved up in there, so I paid no attention to it, and that's why I thought it was there. It wasn't. They did credit me another $50 to make up the difference. So I ordered a new one. So I have 7 new ones to go on here. And, you know, like I said, the thing's been discounted. It has a great amount of potential, and I look forward to modifying it. And that'll be a future video. We'll probably over the winter time we'll do it, because we're running out of time now this year to be needing it, so stay tuned for that video, guys. Thanks for watching. I know this was kind of long. Questions, comments down below, and don't forget subscribe and the thumbs up, please, and catch you guys on the next video.